Coach David Thorne. Coach Thorne began his coaching career at Livonia Stevenson, ventured to North Farmington, and eventually ended up at Farmington Hills Harrison. All 20 years as an assistant coach, taking part in 13 conference championships, with 5 undefeated regular seasons and 4 undefeated seasons, which included consecutive wins of 36 in 24 games. 17-year state playoff qualifier with 11 district championships and 10 regional championships. While at Farmington Hills Harrison, he has coached in 7 state finals, winning the Class A title in '98, the Division III title in '99, 2000, and 2001, and the Division II title in 2010. He is a 2-time MHSFCA Assistant Coach of the Year and the 7th member of the Farmington Hills Harrison coaching staff to be inducted to the Hall of Fame. He will be returning to Farmington Hills Harrison in 2018. His 3 biggest thrills in coaching: coaching my oldest son James at Harrison. Number 2, going undefeated and winning the state championship in 2010. Making it to the state championship game this past fall. Coach Thorne's most bizarre moments in coaching. Watching Coach Weston inform the head official that he had instructed our JV quarterback to take a knee as the clock wound down at the end of the 3rd quarter. And imagine this, in case somebody that he's going to talk about is sitting at the head table. Seeing Coach Harrington come out of the equipment room one day during double sessions, wearing shoulder pads, a practice jersey tucked up under the pads, with his 6-pack stomach showing, and a football helmet tilted on top of his head, mimicking one of our linebackers. Coach Thorne's comments on why coach. Football is a tremendous game of sacrifice and teamwork that enables athletes to develop character qualities that provide a foundation for them to succeed in life. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest member of the Hall of Fame, Coach David Thorne. I got the picture to prove that too, but we won't show it tonight. Okay. Come and see Larry afterwards. Jack, thank you. I'd like to thank the Michigan High School Football Coaches Association and the Hall of Fame Committee for inducting me into the Hall of Fame. I want to thank Coach Harrington because it was his prodding several years ago that got me to fill out the paperwork and turn it in, and I think he probably bugged Jack quite a bit for the last couple of years. Got a ton of people to 3 tables. I just want to have everyone stand up, and those 3 tables over there are people that are come here because of me, because of Harrison High School football. We have our athletic director Linda Fox, our building coordinator Stacy Punzel. We also have my mom, young, 88 years. My 2 brothers. I grew up with an older and a younger brother, Mike and Jeff. Jeff snuck over here to film me, I guess. Mike's wife, Stephanie. I have my two of my 4 sons, Luke, he's a twin, and Cal, the youngest one. And Mike, his wife, Stephanie's here. Josh, one of his sons, and his wife, Andrea. And by no means, lastly, my wife, Jody, of almost 36 years this summer, be 36 years that she's put up with me. So I want to thank all of those for attending. That's my family. Now my football family is over here, but they're intertwined a lot, right? So my football family, Coach Harrington is significant under Linda Bush, Ron Brown, Jim Weston's here, John Herstein, Eric Johnson, his wife Julie, Coach Don Devine, his wife Nancy, Mike Cicery, a player for us and now coach, is with us. Best trainer in the state of Michigan, Jamie Franklin. John Herstein, current coach with us. Jack Merritt has also come, part of our scouting crew back in the JV days. And did I mention Ron Brown? I think I did, right? Jim Weston.
Who did I miss? Mill. Oh, Mill. How could I forget Mill the Thrill? My mom told a story to him earlier how she was in getting therapy on her arm and she fell off the bed from turning on the fan, and Mill was getting therapy at the same therapist, Dick Milder, for a knee injury that he had back in the old days. Football is about, to me, about family. And I introduced some of the family, but I'd like to give some special thanks. My dad passed away in 2015, right during the middle of the season in October. I want to thank my mom and dad, though, two brothers, one older, one younger. They raised us in a loving Christian home that taught us values, commitment, hard work, and they took us to a Bible-believing church that told us and taught us how to understand the gospel. And I'm so thankful for that. In today's day and age, thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. Dad also taught me what's called nowadays is a servant leader. That's the new term in medicine, in military, right? In the police, in football and sports. Well, my dad was a servant leader before the term was even phrased. My dad served our family. He gave all he could give of himself to his family and taught us to respect our mother, to respect all peoples, and to give and serve first before fulfilling anything for yourself. My two brothers, I think, looking back on it, preparing for this, I had a great upbringing. I had an older brother and a younger brother. They were loving, instigating, right? Caring, provoking, and very competitive. And that led to our successes, I think, that we've had at Harrison and in my life. I got to play football with both of them. Mike was older than me. I got to play when I was in 10th grade. And he was on the varsity. He was a center. And I tell you what, you don't get past those senior linemen when you complain to them about, hey, who missed the trap? Because the next play, a lot of guys miss blocks, and your 140-pound body gets smacked pretty good. So he taught me about tough, hard-nosed football, about hawk pride, and about being a grubber. I don't even think Coach Sutter had termed that coin back then. My younger brother, we broke his collarbone when he was up on varsity in his 10th grade year when I was a senior. Yep, literally we did. But I really appreciate what he did. And I'd like to tell Coach, the 1974 team, we were 8-0, went against Tom Moshemer's Plymouth Salem team, 8-0, had two of the highest number-ranked paper playoff teams in the state, and Salem Rocks beat us with that triple option. But I appreciate my brother Jeff because the next year they were 7-2, the next year they were 9-0, and they played, excuse me, 1977 at the Silverdome. So that 8-1 season, I like to think, helped catapult Harrison and Hawk Pride into what it is today. Setting the bar at the top is what we do. If we don't make a goal of winning the state championship each year, you're not going to accomplish it. So I thank Jeff for doing that, for getting his buddies together and committing to that as a goal. Unfortunately, they got beat by Middle and Dow, but we won't talk about that, right, Jeff? My four sons. I have four sons, twins in the middle, an older and a youngest. The oldest one, they got to play for me, but he's not here with us tonight. My one twin son, he's in the military and he couldn't make it. But Cal and Luke are here. And my wife and I were talking about this the last couple of weeks. It was a lot of fun raising our four boys. We exposed them to all kinds of things. We signed them up for stuff. We made them stick through with commitment. But I had a lot of fun. And it was really challenging with three guys in diapers at one time. Jack asked me, Dave, why is there a big gap? Why is there a gap here? There's 10 years from North Farmington to Farmington Harrison. Well, that's because I took 10 years off to help my wife and our family. We almost lost my wife when the twins were born. She had post-delivery eclampsia and went into seizure status. They induced a coma. Picture walking into the ER. Picture walking in to see a wife in a coma, carrying a 20-month-old and 2 babies. So I took 10 years off. I put into practice what my dad taught me, to sacrifice for my family. And I would never do it any other way. So to my wife, my words, expressions, gifts could never, ever explain the gratitude that I have towards you for understanding and supporting me in the passion that I have to coach football. We used to go on scouting trips, BK, remember that? Taught her how to scout. She put so much time, as all you coaches know, into our boys when I wasn't there. But I'm so thankful, most of all, for her loving Christ-like spirit and her gift of mercy that she's shown to many people, especially me. My football family. I did the same thing, Coach. I went down and looked. I've had 11 Hall of Fame coaches impact my life over the years. Jack Reardon, Livonia Stevenson gave me my first coaching job. Ron Holland hired me at North Farmington and Farmington Public Schools. Ralph Temby was the offensive line coach. Herb Horwitz is my head JV coach. I had to coach offensive line and defensive backs. Coach Temby and Coach Horwitz helped me tremendously in those early years, understanding line blocking schemes, even though Coach Erstein doesn't think so. Bob Sallow. Bob Sallow was a friend of our families and a great coach, and coached my brother in gymnastics at Beachview Elementary School when we first moved to Farmington. Sallow, Sutter, and Harrington, junior and senior year. Those were my coaches, all Hall of Famers. Ron Brown, the last inductee from Harrison in 2006. A great mentor, a voice of reason in Sunday night meetings when I get too crazy with the defenses I want to draw up. Coach Witkowski never saw a play that he didn't want to run against every defense that we had for that week. So meticulous, so intense. A great special teams coach and mentor. Jim Weston taught me the ropes of how to scout, how to be a consummate gentleman. Not very good at flipping a ball over his shoulder, because I didn't tell about that thing where he dislocated his shoulder in practice and had to go to the hospital. But a great coach, a great man, a great mentor to me. Coach Sutter, he was my JV coach when I was in 9th grade at Harrison. And then worked with him for years once I came to Harrison before he retired. Coach Harrington, I can't say enough about him. Beside my dad and my wife's dad, he's the greatest mentor I've had. He's a friend. I love him to death. Thanks, Coach, for being coach.